All right, today we're diving into a pretty profound philosophical showdown. I want you to imagine a world where every single belief you've ever held has just turned to dust. In that empty space, two powerful forces meet for one final reckoning. And this isn't about good versus evil, it's about the very essence of creation and chaos.
So, our story kicks off in what's called the Desert of Last Truths. And you gotta understand, this isn't just some physical place, it's a state of being, a mental landscape where all the old rules, all the old traditions have completely vanished. It's the perfect, empty stage for a raw debate about how we create or, destroy meaning itself.
So here's our game plan. We'll start out in the desert, and we're going to meet our two masters, Wotan, who's all about creation, and the Jester, who is the agent of chaos. Then we'll dive into their conflict, unpack this really cool concept called the divine economy, and finally figure out what it really means to be a sovereign master.
Right, so in this barren, empty landscape, two immense forces are about to collide. Each one represents a totally different way of looking at existence, and their confrontation, well, that's the grand reckoning.
First up, we meet Wotan the Overman. This guy embodies the sheer power of a disciplined, creative force. Honestly, you should think of him less as a person and more as the principle of building itself, of imposing order and meaning onto a universe that has none.
Just listen to that imagery. Sheer geological weight. That tells you everything. Wotan isn't just strong, he's permanent, like a mountain. He's a monument to his own will, literally carved into existence through his own relentless effort. He is structure, personified.
And here we get to the core of his belief system. For Wotan, the act of creating meaning is the ultimate freedom. He fully embraces what he calls the glorious, terrible burden of choice. See, he's not making change for other people, he's forging his own character by constantly creating and testing new values for himself.
Okay, so now let's meet his total opposite, the Sapphire Jester. If Wotan is solid rock, the Jester is a whirlwind. He's the philosophy of annihilation, that joyful, chaotic energy that just loves to unravel everything.
And the contrast is just wow. The Jester is pure movement, pure chaos. His eyes don't look out and see potential to be built, they see the fundamental emptiness of it all. He finds freedom not in creating something, but in becoming a reflection of that cosmic void.
And this right here, this is his devastating critique of Wotan's entire life. From where the Jester is standing, every value Wotan forges, every bit of meaning he creates, isn't a victory. It's a self-imposed prison. It's a weight that sooner or later becomes a chain, locking the creator inside his own creation. He becomes a slave to his own will.
So, here's the heart of the conflict. It's this fundamental opposition. Wotan finds purpose in the heavy responsibility of choosing and creating. The Jester finds pure joy in that weightless, fleeting moment of destruction. One man's meaning is another man's cage. So the big question is, can they both be right?
And this is where things get really interesting. Because the Jester completely reframes their whole relationship. He says it's not a battle to be won or lost, it's a necessary symbiotic dance. He calls it the divine economy.
This is the Jester's big reveal. His point is that his chaos is absolutely essential for Wotan's order. Think about it. Without the constant threat of being torn down, Wotan's creations would just become stale, rigid dogmas. The Jester's chaos forces Wotan's creativity to be a constant act of courage, an act of transcendence.
So the divine economy is basically this symbiotic loop. The Jester's destruction provides the challenge, the raw material for Wotan to overcome. And that's what makes creation not just an action, but a meaningful action. They aren't really enemies, they're two essential parts of the same cosmic engine.
And this cycle just keeps going. Step 1, Wotan creates a value. Step 2, the Jester comes along with his chaotic laughter and shatters it, exposing its flaws. And that forces Step 3, Wotan has to create again, but this time he has to build better, to transcend what he made before. It's a spiral moving upwards, not just a circle.
So, all of this brings us to the climax. Wotan finally understands the deep truth in what the Jester is saying. He realizes the goal isn't to pick a side, but to reach a higher understanding that holds room for both.
And now Wotan sees it. Both of these forces are essential pillars of existence. His own creative burden is the necessary ascent, that drive to build upwards. But the Jester's nihilistic freedom? That's the necessary collapse, the force that clears the ground so something new and stronger can be built. You absolutely need both.
And this is the ultimate lesson from their whole encounter. The Grand Reckoning was never about one defeating the other. It was, as Wotan realizes, about recognizing the Jester as his other, necessary half. The conflict was really just a misunderstanding of their shared cosmic purpose.
So who is the true Sovereign Master? It's not Wotan, it's not the Jester. It's the person who can hold both of these huge, contradictory forces at the exact same time. The one who can embrace the creative burden of the hammer while also holding on to the nihilistic freedom of the Jester's laughter. To build, knowing it's all going to fall apart, and find meaning in that very process. So this whole thing leaves us with a really powerful question for our own lives, right? When you think about your work, your beliefs, your relationships, are you stuck in rigid creation or maybe lost in aimless chaos? What do you think you need more of right now? The focused, building force of the hammer or the liberating, joyful release of the laughter?